Here's another cotton update for you. I wanted to show you a little problem I've been running into. So on a lot of these bowls, when they open up, I get into them and there's one or two mature seeds in the whole bowl, and that's it. This one is actually looking like it's a pretty good one. I think I might actually have, yeah, this one's actually a pretty substantial one. It's got at least 3 or 4 seeds in it. So let me pull those out and give you a look. So this is the typical spread I'm getting out of a bowl. See, I've got 1, 2, 3 mature seeds out of there, and everything else is like this little pale beige one up here is immature, or these little bits up here. These are immature seeds. These are totally unformed, just the seeds were never created. They produced a little bit of lint, but they never matured. And that's how pretty much all of the bowls I'm getting are. And the only reason I can think for this, which would explain why all the bowls are undersized, is it was that boron deficiency that I amended for. Because boron is so critical in seed formation, if these bowls did not get enough boron initially, the plant was only able to, say, start 3 seeds before it realized, oh, I don't have any boron, so it had to kill the rest of the seeds in there. Because of that, when I'm getting these bowls open now, the majority of the seeds in there are bad. And in some of these bowls, I'm opening it, and there's only 1 viable seed in the whole thing, and the other 2 ovaries are just totally rotten. Or I'll get 2 viable seeds in there, and then 1 ovary is rotten, and it's rotted all the lint around one of the viable seeds. And that's why you see all this yellow cotton in here. So that's an issue I'm running into, and I'm really worried about that because it's really impacting my productivity. I did not realize that a boron deficiency would cause this much mayhem. This is ridiculous, and that's something I'm really going to have to watch like a hawk in future seasons. Alright, here's an example, is one on another row that I think is actually, for the most part, very mature. So we're just going to break into here and see what's inside of these ovaries, because they look pretty full and not very stained. Oh yeah. That's definitely a nice one. Let me pull that apart and give you a real look at what's in there. Alright, now that's probably one of the more mature ovaries so far, but as you can see, there's a lot of staining and there's still some immature seeds down in here. And that's the problem I'm running into on a lot of these bowls, is they're opening, but they're not entirely mature. And I don't know if that's because, like, maturation halted until I added the boron, and then these other immature seeds are just catching up. And so really it's only just these couple of mature seeds in there that are opening in time, or that are mature in time by the time it opens, and it just ends up with immature seeds being stuck in there as well. This is the issue I've been having, is I don't know if it's just because these mature seeds were mature by the time that this bowl here opened, and that these immature seeds were re-beginning development after boron was supplied. I don't know. It's a damn mystery. Let me pick out all the immature ones and show you what I mean. As you can see, these seeds up here are mature and these down here are immature. This one actually was mature, but it appears like it tried to germinate inside of the seed. It was really weird. The radical was poking out. So I don't know what that's about. And these, I believe, yep, these 5, that was all in 1 ovary. And this up here, this is only 4 seeds. So there was only 2 per ovary in the other ovaries, and there was 5 in one. And that's a trend I've been noticing throughout all of these. There will be 1 ovary that has like 2, 3 mature seeds, or sometimes it'll just be 1 ovary with a mature seed, and everything else is rotten in the whole bowl, or totally undeveloped. And I think that's the result of a lack of some micronutrient. They just weren't getting what they needed to mature, so the plant was not maturing them, and then whenever it did become available, it was too late for them to mature by the time the bowl opened. It's odd, and this is what I'm dealing with. Alright, that's it for this week. Not a lot of bowls open this week. I think I just had like 3, maybe 4 today that had anything of use in them. Actually had mature seeds. The rest were all rotten through. And something I've been noticing is a lot of these immature bowls that the plant decided to senesce, but it decided to senesce them too late, so it still had to commit to holding them, couldn't just drop them. They're starting to open and they're just totally rotten. They didn't have anything in them to begin with. And whatever reason, they've got bacteria or something inside of them, and they just rotted from the inside out. Nothing usable at all in them. But I am getting some, like that one I just saw you, that are well and truly full of seeds, and I hope to find more of those. I've only gotten a few of them. Those I think are the big old fat 4 Maris ones I've been talking about, like you can see over here on this one. I think these, for the most part, are the ones that are actually producing. These, not quite like that, but these, the big ones. They seem to be totally full of seeds, which is to be expected because they're big. Also of interest, 44D is now tall. He's very tall. He's actually taller than I am now. It's like probably 6'3" now. So that's interesting. He should hopefully become a museum specimen. But other than that, plants look great, look super healthy. They're starting to drop bolls again, which I may need to come out here and spray them with boron again. But just from an overall health perspective, they're looking good. Probably won't be in peak picking until, what, mid-late October? Because that's when I was at peak bloom. And you can only pick bolls that, you know, bloomed 57 days earlier. So I have to wait 8 weeks before any of these flowers make anything. So I guess, what is it? It's the end of September. So pretty much anything blooming today will not reach maturity. So that will not produce a fruit. And how many nodes are we above white flower? 1, 2. We're at 4 nodes above white flower, so this is cutout. Well, I don't know if cutout's the same for Sea Island cotton as it is for upland cotton, but I'm gonna guess 4 nodes above white flowers. Pretty unanimous across the board. So he's at 4 nodes above white flower, so we're at cutout. Nothing that's flowering now is ever going to reach maturity, because that'll be, you'd have to get through all of October and November without a hard freeze. And, well, that may theoretically be possible here in South Carolina, especially on the coast. We may not get a cold snap until January or February. May not get below 32, or we could get one in the first week of December, who knows. So I intend on leaving these plants out here as long as possible so that I can get maximum fruit production, because I just need the seeds. I was hoping I'd be able to get some usable lint out of this whole deal, but now I just want seeds. I want like 1,000 seeds so that I can plant twice as much the following year. It took me 200 seeds to plant this, and Lord, I'd be lucky if I have 100 right now. So I just need the seeds to replant next year and expand the garden, because as you can see, I've got the growing conditions down. I know exactly what I need to do next year, and boron is top on the list. The other one is making these rows a little bit shorter, putting down plastic to keep out weed matting, doing a 2x6 or maybe a 2x5 spacing. Plants definitely need to be 2 foot apart. I put them 18 inches apart. They're way too close. Their rows are 6 foot apart, which I think is a good spacing. I could probably do 5. 5.5 might be a good compromise. But yeah, if I can get weed matting, shorter rows, covered in weed matting, get a little bit more organic matter in the soil, definitely get the boron in there in a less soluble form right before planting, and start a foliar application of boron. When would that have been? 3 weeks after flowering, month after flowering, and just really stay on top of that. Definitely get the sulfur in there too. So, till next time, I'm hopeful for next year, and I'm hopeful for this year. Tom out.